This conference will now be recorded.
Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to ABAP on HANA class. First of all, I want to introduce guys because most of you don't know about me. Maybe just introduction. So my name is Rajshekhar guys. Most of you know. So I have been into this field guys from last 20 years in SAP. And I have been into ABAP on HANA. First I started my career with ABAP. So ABAP is like my life guys, okay. So most of the work I done in ABAP. Then I switched into WebDyn Pro, ABAP WebDyn Pro. Then into workflow, then ABAP on HANA, UI5 Fairy, OData guys. And almost guys, I know all the technical modules in SAP. So today's agenda guys, today will take just 1 hour or so something. Okay, so from tomorrow onwards, we'll discuss 2.5 hours, I will take the class. Because today is just a demo guys, what is HANA, why we are using HANA. And we can ask your own questions. Question hour session will be there. And what we are going to cover throughout the course, duration, everything. So let us start our course guys with introduction to SAP HANA. Suppose guys we have a database table. You take a database table and this table guys, it is having some 2 billion records. It is having some 2 billion records. Suppose it is an ECC system or it is an ERP system guys, it's a normal table suppose. Just tell me guys, if I want to process 2 billion records, how much time it will take guys? Anybody among the audience? Yeah. How much time guys it will take if you want to process 2 billion records, if it is a normal table? Suppose it's a normal ERP table and I'm having 2 billion records. So it will take guys almost 5 hours of time. 5 hours of time to process 2 billion records. But if it is a HANA database, it will just take 5 seconds. It will just take 5 seconds to process 2 billion records. Just you can imagine guys how fast the HANA database is guys. HANA is so fast, okay. Now this fastness, this performance majorly attributes to 3 reasons. Primarily guys, there are 3 reasons, okay. And from these 3 reasons, you'll get all the remaining reasons also, remaining options also. First reason is HANA is in-memory computing. It's an in-memory database. You can call it as in-memory computing also. HANA supports columnar approach. Okay, HANA is a columnar database. Columnar approach it follows. Okay, I will discuss this one. Then guys, it supports massive parallel processing, MPP, massive parallel processing. So guys, the entire performance of HANA attributes to these primarily 3 reasons. One is in-memory database, columnar approach, and massive parallel processing. So I will discuss all the points in detail because guys, I cannot discuss just 5 minutes. It will take a lot of time to understand guys these topics. So I will discuss one by one guys in detail. So let us try to understand. So first one is in-memory database guys. Okay, let us try to understand what is in-memory database, in-memory computing. So before discussing in-memory computing, let us see guys how system works actually, how a computer works. So in every system, you will find CPU, you will find RAM, and you will find database, guys. Okay, hard disk. You can call it a disk. Okay, so you'll find three things: CPU, RAM, and disk. So first of all, guys, suppose I want to get output. So first of all, guys, you make a request. User will make a request to CPU. CPU will forward it to RAM. So RAM will forward it to disk. And disk, guys, it will provide the response. So all your data will be stored in disk, guys. All the traditional databases, the data will be in disk itself. So disk will provide the data to the RAM. A RAM, guys, RAM in turn will provide the data to the CPU. And here we have registers, guys, CPU registers. Okay, so many CPU registers are there. They will process your data and it will return the response. Okay, it will return the response in the form of your output. Okay, so this is your output. Now, guys, if you check, if you see all the traditional databases in the sense like Oracle, MS SQL, MaxDB, all these traditional databases, they are designed, guys, they are designed to store the data in disk. Store data in disk, guys. They are primarily designed to store the data in disk. But HANA, guys, it is designed to store the data in RAM. HANA is primarily designed to store the data in RAM itself. And one more thing we need to understand, RAM disk is made up of an iron plate. Disk is made up of an iron plate. And RAM is made up of semiconductor devices. In electronics, in engineering, guys, you might have studied. RAM is designed, guys, it is based on semiconductor devices like capacitors, transistors, etc. And you know that, guys, you know that RAM by nature, guys, by nature, RAM is million times faster, guys. RAM is million times faster than disk. Okay, million times faster than disk. So that is very important point to understand. Now, so let us try to understand further also about R3 architecture. This is very important point, guys. So this is your architecture, guys. So most of the computer systems works on this architecture called real-time three-tier architecture. Real-time three-tier architecture called R3 architecture. So in this R3 architecture, you will find presentation server, application server, and database server. Generally, guys, most of the ERP solutions, ERPs, they're working on R3 architecture. So in R3 architecture, you will find presentation server, you will find application server, and you will find database server. You will find database server. And suppose, guys, I want to prepare a sales report. Suppose I want to design or I want to prepare a sales report. Now my question to all of you is, in sales report, tell me, guys, if you want to display sales report with invoice number, invoice date, invoice value, tax details, blah, 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 guys. Tell me, guys, minimum, how many tables I'm going to use? Bare minimum. How many tables I'm going to use to prepare a sales report? Yeah. Tell me, guys, barely how many tables we are going to use to prepare an ordinary sales report in ERP?
At least 2.
Yeah.
At least
okay.
2.
So at least, guys, okay. Suppose, guys, in my sales report, it's a full-fledged sales report. It's a full-fledged sales report. Here I'm using some 10 tables, suppose. Now, guys, 10 tables. So 10 times you have to make a select statement. 10 tables means you have to write select statement 10 times. Yes or no? Select star from one table, again select star from another table, select star from third table, like this, guys. You need to write many times the select statements. So when select statements will increase, guys, so each and every time your presentation server have to make a request to application server. Your application server in turn have to make a request to your database server. First table, guys. First table will make a request for the data from the database server. So from table 1, guys, it will provide the response. It will provide the response, and here you do again processing, guys. Again, you need to process the table 1 data. Process table 1 data. Clear? Again, in the same way, guys, you will make a request for second table. Second table will provide the response. Second table will provide the response. And again, you will process the data, guys. For second table in application server. In application server, you will process the table 2 data. Like this, guys, like this. When the number of tables will increase. When the number of tables will increase 10 times, guys, 10 times, you need to interact. Application server have to interact with the database server. Application server have to interact with the database server. First table interaction, response. Second table interaction, response. Request, response, request, response. So with this, guys, network traffic will increase. With this, the network traffic between application server and database server. Application server and database server, the network traffic will increase, guys. And guys, suppose your report is taking 100% of time. If your report is taking 100% of time, 70% of time, guys, 70% of time is consumed. Your report, your program, your system will consume 70% of the time between this network traffic only, guys. The entire life will be spent between this network traffic only, guys, between this juggle, I'm telling you. And moreover, guys, this entire ERP system, it is an OLTP system. This you need to understand. It's a very, very important thing, guys. So day-to-day operations, guys, in ERP system, suppose you want to create a sales order, if you want to create a purchase order, okay, if you want to create employee, anything, guys, any transactional thing, if you want to create any employee number, any data you want to create, so we need to use this system itself. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? So day-to-day activities, day-to-day business activities, we are doing in this ERP system, guys. Okay, all your sales order creation, purchase order creation, employee creation, billing creations, invoice creation, delivery creations will be done in this system. So that's why, guys, this entire ERP system is designed for transactional processing. For transactional processing. So that's why, guys, this system is called OLTP system, guys. That's why ERP systems, they are known as OLTP. Tell me, guys, what is the full form of OLTP? What is the full form of OLTP system? Anybody among the audience? What is the full form of OLTP, guys? Online transaction processing, okay? Online transaction processing, guys. So I can say most of the ERP systems, they are OLTP systems. So they will perform most of the day-to-day activities, guys. The day-to-day transactions are performed in the system. And moreover, guys, these ERP systems will not support analytical analysis, guys. Intelligence analysis. What is intelligence analysis? Yeah. I'm saying these ERP systems will not perform any intelligence analysis. What do you mean by intelligence analysis? See, guys, see, these reports will show the data, guys. But if you go to manager positions, managers, CEO of the company, they don't want the data, guys. They want only pie charts, yes or no? So they want which region maximum sales, which region, Africa region is having more sales, EMEA region is having more sales, APAC region, which region is having less sales, which region is having more sales. We want pie charts like this. At the end of the day, they will never see the reports, guys. They only pie charts, intelligence analysis, pie charts, dashboards, okay, charts, etc. Okay, analytics, okay, we are calling it as simple analytics, guys, business analytics. So, guys, this system This ERP system, as it is OLTP system, it doesn't support intelligence analysis reporting. So after a lot of analysis, guys, SAP came with a BW system, guys. SAP came with another system called BW. BW stands for business warehousing. BW stands for business warehousing, guys. Business warehousing system. Now, guys, in BW system, here we have one algorithm, guys, a special program, I can say. It's a special internal program. It is called BWA, guys. We have BWA called Business Warehouse Accelerator. Business Warehouse Accelerator. Whenever your system is on, whenever you switch on, guys, your BW system, whenever you switch on your BW system, all your data, guys, which is in disk, all your data in the tables, which is in disk, automatically, guys, it will be stored in your RAM. Automatically, this entire data will be transferred to your RAM, guys. Okay. Automatically, it is transferred to your RAM, and here you can do your intelligence analysis, guys. Intelligence analytics, it supports, okay, many analytics dashboards, pie charts, okay, no, different types of analytics. Intelligence analysis you can perform in BW system. And the reason is, guys, because of this business warehouse accelerator, it will read, whenever your BW system is on, it will read all your data from the database and it will store in RAM, guys. And top of this RAM, on top of this RAM, you can do your intelligence analysis reporting. You can display pie charts, sales from last 10 years sales report, 20-year sales analysis, okay, EMEA region sales, APAC region sales, you can perform. But, guys, there is a drawback. In this BW system also there is a drawback, guys. What is the drawback? Suppose if there is a power outage. Suppose there is a power outage, guys. Tell me what will happen if there is a power outage, sudden power outage. Anybody? Yeah. Suppose there is a sudden power outage, guys. Again, what it have to do, guys? All the data will be again. It have to reload, guys. Suppose there is power outage. Again, we got the power back. Once the power is back, again, guys, it have to reload the data back from the tables, to the RAM. So because the RAM is volatile. RAM is volatile in nature. Again, the data which is in tables, again, it have to reload back to the RAM, guys. Again, it's a problem, guys. Moreover, it is very costly. BW system is very costly system, guys. We have to provide a lot of maintenance cost for BW system, guys. Fine, guys. So with this, SAP understood, guys, beyond certain range, we cannot increase the performance. Okay. After BW system, we cannot increase the performance. So in 2010, guys, in October 2010, SAP came with a system called HANA, guys. SAP came with HANA. HANA stands for High Performance Analytical Appliance. High Performance Analytic Appliance. So what do you mean, guys? What do this means? Actually, guys, first of all, I want to make you understand HANA is database. HANA is database. On top of it, HANA is a platform. It is not only database, HANA is a platform. It is not only platform, it is hardware also, guys. It supports hardware also. It is a special hardware also, okay, and software also. So HANA is all in one, guys. HANA is database. Primarily, it's a database. HANA is a primarily database. It's not only database, it's a platform also. It's a platform like S4 HANA we are calling. Okay. We'll discuss everything. We'll discuss, guys. Don't worry. So S4 HANA is a platform. It's a hardware also, guys. It's a hardware. It supports multi-core processors. Okay, we'll discuss that also. It's a software also. It's a software. So HANA stands for High Performance Analytical Appliance. And tell me, guys, what do you mean by appliance? What do you mean by appliance actually? Yeah.
Machine.
Appliance means, guys, it's a machine. Machine in the sense which is having both hardware and software. Like your, washing machine. Washing machine, guys, it's an appliance. Refrigerator, sometimes we are calling is an appliance. Why? Because they are running on software. They are having hardware as well as software, guys. So they are called appliances. And here you can see one word called analytics, guys. Analytics means HANA is OLTP. HANA is OLTP means it supports day-to-day processing, day-to-day transactional data it can process. Like it can create purchase order, you can create sales orders, you can create employee, POP, everything, guys, purchase requisitions on top of the system. Plus, guys, it supports OLAP also. OLAP is nothing but analytics, which BW system will do. Okay, which BW system will do means that's why it is called OLTAP system. OLTAP system. So it supports transactional processing as well as analytical processing. So that's why HANA system is called, guys, online transactional and analytical processing. It can do both transactional as well as analytical processing. Okay? So that's why it is very hot now in the market. Now, guys, any question up to here you want to ask me? So I can continue. Any doubts, any questions? Fine, guys. So the next point, so that is about in-memory database, guys. Is it clear? What is in-memory database? In in-memory database, guys, all your data will be stored in the RAM, and all your processing will be, guys, all your data processing will be carried in RAM itself. And you know that, guys, RAM is million times faster than the disk. Okay. Fine. So let us try to understand the next very important point is nothing but columnar database. Columnar database. So before explaining the columnar database or columnar approach, because it is a very important topic of the entire HANA, guys, one of very important topic. So we need to understand, guys, the difference between row store and column store. Okay, row store and column store. Let us try to understand. You take traditional tables, okay, traditional databases like Oracle, MS SQL, MaxDB. In all these databases, guys, suppose you take any table, Mara table, Makat table, okay, and KNA1 table, suppose. Now let us try to understand, guys, how the data is stored. How the data is stored, let me explain it. Suppose this is a table, guys, a small table. And this small table is having some 3 fields. I'm not taking more fields, just make you to understand better. Because so many people are non-IT, they don't know all these things, right? Just I'm explaining a simple manner. So it is having 3 fields. Okay, say customer number, say product number, and quantity, guys, quantity, product quantity. And under this table, I'm having some data, say customer, blah, blah, blah. Product number, say P01, P02, P03, and P04. And we have quantities, says 50, 70, 100, 200. Now, suppose, guys, I want to do some totals. This is my first question. My first question is I want total quantity, guys. Tell me, guys, how system will perform. Just anybody can guess. So I'm having only 4 records. I'm having 4 rows, and I want to do the total quantity, guys. Totals I want to do. Tell me how system will do totals. So first of all, guys, system will scan now. Here system will scan each and every row, each and every column it will scan. So first it will go to this row, guys. Whether it is a quantity, no, it is not a quantity. Again, it will scan the product number. No, this is not my quantity. Yes, this is my quantity. This is my quantity. It will take it. It will take this quantity, guys. It will keep in buffer somewhere. Suppose 50. Again, guys, it will go to the next row. It will see whether this is a quantity. No. This is a quantity field. No. Yes, this is a quantity. So it will add this quantity with this 50, guys. It will make it 120. In buffer, it will make it 120. Then it will go to the next field, scan it. It will go. It will scan it. No. This is not my field. Yes, this is my field. 120 plus 100. It will make it 220. And ultimately, guys, it will scan this column. This is a field. No, this is not my field. No, this is not my field. It will get it. It will make it 440. So ultimately, guys, it will return the result. Ultimately, it will return the result. Okay. Ultimately, it will return the result. Fine, guys. Agree with you. Fully agree with you. Okay. Done the things. Suppose, guys, you take ERP, a particular ERP, you take a table called BISEG, or you take a Falana table BISEG. In BISEG table, guys, there are more than 340 columns. There are more than 340 columns. Here we have only 3 columns. Here we have only 3 columns, guys. It is taking some time. And suppose, guys, I am having 340 columns, guys. There are 340 columns, and I want to do some total. Tell me, guys, how much time it will take. In a table with 340 columns, and on these 340 columns table, I want to add total on a field, guys. Suppose on a 7th field. 7th field is your amount. 7th field, your amount field. Tell me, guys, how much time will the system will take? Anybody among the audience? Yeah. How much time the system will take for performing totals if the table is having 340 columns? Lot of time, guys. Okay, lot of time. And there, guys, it attributes low performance. Drastic performance will be reduced if you are using traditional databases. Traditional databases, guys. Why? Because columns are more. If columns will increase, scanning will increase. System have to scan each and every column, and it will take a lot of time, guys. If you want to perform anything, not only you do totals, if you want to search any column also, guys. If you want to do searching, anything, guys, system will take a lot of time, guys. But in columnar approach, see, guys, in columnar approach, let me tell you, guys, how the fields are arranged. See, so in columnar approach, guys, each field, guys, I can say each column acts like a separate tiny table. Each column behaves like a tiny table itself, or behaves like an index itself, guys. And guys, each tiny table, each column acts like a tiny table. So this is one tiny table. Okay, this is one tiny table. This is one tiny table. This is one tiny table. Behind the scenes, I am telling you. Okay, behind the scenes, each column behaves like a tiny table. And in this tiny table, guys, all your records will be at one place. Say 1000. All your customer numbers. All your customer numbers will be at one place. Like this. Okay. All your product numbers will be in another place, another tiny table, like this. Or if I'm going to explain like this, this will be understandable. You will understand this much. You will understand in a better way. See. So each column behaves like a tiny table like this in behind the scenes. See. And guys, you will find the data at one place. Sequentially, you will find all the customers at one place. All the customers will be stored in one place, guys. See, like this. Okay. Now this is a name column. It's a product column P01, P02, P03, and P04. And this is your quantity column. Okay. Say 50, quantity 60, 100, 200, 300, and so on. And so on. Now, guys, suppose I want to add this. Tell me what system will do. Suppose you want total quantity. What system will do in this case? Anybody among the audience? If you want to do total quantity here, what will do? What system will do? System will no need to scan, guys. Even, guys, there are 340 columns. Even there are 340 columns. All your quantity will be stored at one place. Okay, in one place. So whenever you want to perform totals, guys, you no need to scan this column. You no need to scan this column. No need to scan this column, guys. So directly control goes to this column itself. So control directly goes to this column. It will add all these quantities and it will return the result. Tell me guys, which is faster approach? Row store approach or column store approach?
Rows
If you want
approach.
to column totals, row store approach is faster or column store? Column store guys, column store is much faster than row store guys. Why? Because in row store each column, each cell, each row will be scanned, but in column store, the column guys on which you want to apply your where condition, the column on which you want to apply totals, which you want to search, only guys you will search only that column. Okay? Only you will search that column and system will return the result. So faster approach guys. And one more thing you need to understand guys. See guys, the second problem is in traditional ERP systems, in traditional databases, lot of duplicate records. Yes or no? Yes or no? You'll find a lot of duplicates. Let me show. You'll find lot of duplicate records. That is also a big problem guys. So let me log on into HANA system.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm not able to watch the running screen, sir. I can hear your voice running, but I'm not able to watch the running screen as it is very low.
Is it happening to everybody or what? Is it happening to everybody?
No, we can
Okay,
see your screen.
Shama, you will relog in.
we can
Okay.
see, yeah.
Your problem will be resolved.
Okay.
Yes, relog in once again.
Okay. Okay.
Fine guys. Now let me show you our SAP logon. See, you double click on your ERP system and let me show you Mara table. Any table, not only Mara table, any table you take, you will find a lot of duplicates. Lot of duplicate data will be there. See. See guys, here you can see guys, HANA user, see how many duplicates. See guys, new ABAP 38, new ABAP 38, new ABAP 38, see how many duplicates. And here you can check material type also, see. In this material type guys, see, FART, how many times it duplicates? Kilogram, unit of measurement, kg guys, see how many times it is duplicating. 100 times guys, a lot of duplicate records, see dates, how many times it is duplicated. So that is a big problem guys in HANA system or in traditional ERP system or traditional databases. Records are highly duplicated. Yes or no? You will find a lot of duplicate records. So in such case guys, suppose in my system guys, suppose Delhi is duplicated 1000 times. Say Delhi is duplicated 1000 times. Tell me guys how much memory it is occupying? Yeah. So Delhi is duplicated 1000 times. So 1000 into 5 bytes. So we have 5000 characters or not? Yes or no? So system will occupy how much memory? System will occupy how much memory here? Yeah.
5000 bytes.
5000 bytes. Very good. 5000 bytes. But guys, in HANA system, each column acts like a separate tiny table. Each column acts like a separate tiny table. And you have a separate codes, guys. We have a separate code. For example, Delhi, guys. Delhi. This is on first position. Again, Delhi is in second position. This is in third position. And guys, you are having certain codes like this. 1 for second position, 2 for third position, Delhi. For third position, Delhi, we are having 3 guys. Fourth position, Delhi, we have 4. In the same way, guys, you are having product number like this: P01, P02, P03. Again, guys, each record number, each option, it is identified by number 1. Product number P02 is identified by 2. P03 is identified by 3 guys. In the same way, guys, all your tiny tables behaves like an indexing, guys. Indexing. All they act like an indexes. Okay. Now tell me, guys. This time, guys, Delhi So Delhi is identified by guys 1, suppose. Delhi is identified by 1. Tell me guys, how many bytes of memory it will occupy? So Delhi is coded with 1, guys, suppose, or Delhi is identified by 1. How many bytes it will occupy?
1000 bytes.
1000 into
1000
1, guys,
bytes.
only 1000. Yeah, very good. Only 1000. So tell me guys, drastically we're reducing the memory occupation or not? In HANA system, we are reducing the memory cost. We are drastically reducing the memory cost also, guys, which is a big headache for customers. Yeah. Yeah, you want to ask something? Okay, fine guys. So here drastically the memory cost is also reduced, okay, for the customers also. See, and guys, with this technique guys, what will happen? We have a new concept called compression, guys. Third one, fourth one actually, this is compression. So I can say guys, in HANA system, the data is highly compressed. In HANA system, because guys, the data is stored in the form of codes, guys, in the form of some numbers or codes. For example, guys, I'm saying like this. See, for example, Delhi cantonment. Delhi cantonment. See, guys, how many bytes it is occupying this time? You tell me. Delhi cantonment. Suppose it is 15 characters. Suppose it's total 15 characters. But guys, with HANA, guys, with the help of codes, it is occupying only 1 character. Okay, only 1 byte. See, guys, how much memory it is reducing. See. So with this, guys, with this, we can compress the data, guys. With this, we can achieve to a concept called data compression. Data can be highly compressed. So with the compression of data, guys, memory cost can be reduced to a greater extent. And one more thing, guys, here tables are also very simplified, guys. In HANA, guys, if you see HANA, so with this compression, a new platform, guys, SAP introduced a new platform in 2015, guys. In 2015, SAP introduced a new platform called S4HANA. So S4HANA is the tables are highly simplified, guys. Yes or no? If you see, guys, BISEC table is how many columns? It is having 340 columns, more than 340 columns. But you go for S4HANA. In S4HANA, guys, we are having a table called ACDocker. It is having only 15 columns. It is having 15 columns, guys, because of this compression. So tables are highly simplified. In even applications also, guys. In normal ERPs, in normal SAP, applications are very big. Yes or no? In our normal SAP environment, you say VA01, guys. If you want to create a sales order, you need to traverse. You need to traverse through a lot of screens. Yes or no? You need to traverse, guys. Number of screens you have to traverse. But in S4HANA, guys, because the data is highly compressed, the tables are highly compressed. Here, guys, applications, the screens are also highly reduced, guys. Screens and applications also, they're highly simplified. Okay, with the advent of S4HANA. Okay, this is because of compression, guys. Okay, because of compression. So one more time, I want to discuss with you. So in HANA, guys, we have column stored tables. In column stored tables, guys, each column is arranged like a tiny table, and it acts like a separate index. And each record, guys, each value is identified with a separate code, guys, with a separate code. Okay, say Delhi with 1, second position is identified by 2, 3, 4, like this, guys. So with these codes, guys, system no need to recognize with this entire character, guys. Now you no need to recognize this entire character. So system will recognize only these codes. And one more question to you guys. Tell me, system will recognize characters better or codes better? Yes. System will recognize characters better or codes better? See guys, ultimately system have to convert binary language. That is for sure. Binary coding is. Binary means 0 1 0 1. 0 1 0 1 like this. So tell me guys, if I want to convert binary coding, characters will be converted faster or codes will be converted faster, numbers will be converted faster? Anybody? I think guys, you're not enjoying the class. Huh? You're all silent. I'm asking a very simple question. It's a very simple question. So every system, guys, it will understand binary coding, okay, machine language. So tell me, guys, characters are converted. So what Delhi is, guys? Delhi is converted faster into binary coding, or say 2 is converted easily, or 3 is converted easily into binary coding. Yeah. Which is converted faster, number or character?
Number.
Number, guys, very simple. Number will be converted faster into binary coding. Okay. So that is one more reason, guys. That is one more reason why SAP converted all these into numbers, guys, into numbering format internally. Okay. Fine, guys. Any question up to here? Yeah. Any question? Any doubt up to here?
No.
Okay. So that is all about compression, guys. Okay. So when the data is highly compressed, tables are highly simplified.
One question, Rasik. Because if you use these codes, binary code, then when we do a select query, how can, when we do the coding, how we remember like how to code that? Okay, which line we have to select and which.
This question actually I'm expecting from you. Actually, I'm expecting from you. Somebody will ask, I will answer it. See, guys. Actually, see. Suppose this is your column. Suppose the coding is like this: 3, 4. And suppose this is for your column number 1. Suppose this is your sales order. Column number 2, guys, it's a sales organization. Column number 3 is for sales quantity. Column number 4 is for sales value. Suppose, guys. Now, as I discussed, all your sales orders, they are stored in one place itself, guys. So these are all your sales order numbers. So all the values will be stored at one place itself, rather than storing it in a sequential manner like this. And guys, all your order types will be stored here in the form of 1, 2, 4, say 5, 6, 7, suppose. And these are all your sales orders, okay, order types, OR, domestic order, whatever it will be. And here we are having quantity or something, okay? Sales organization, these are the codes: 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so this is your order quantity: 34,000, 100, 1,001, like this. Now, guys, I am writing a select query, guys. Suppose I am writing a select query. Select. Okay, Veblen. Okay, order type AUART, quantity KWMENG from blah blah table. From table name, I'm writing some condition. Now, guys, in case of column store table, first of all, guys, control directly goes to this column because this column is Veblen. So this system can identify very easily. Why? Because this tiny table, guys, it is acting for what? This is acting like a Veblen, order number, suppose. And this is like acting like order type, okay, AUART, and it is acting like your order quantity. So first of all, guys, it will go to this place. So now, guys, it will not check the data. Remember, guys, it will not check the data, guys. It will check, guys, number 1. Okay, you want to extract this order based on where condition you want to extract this order. So it will keep this number, guys, at one place. Okay, order number at one place. Done, guys. Okay, code 1 placed at one place. And based on that order, guys, system will search. For this order, guys. Here, what is the order type? So suppose, guys, the order type is 4, guys. See guys, for this one, this is the order type suppose. It is 4. And now guys, what system will do? System will pick up the 4 here. System will pick up 4 here. Now guys, for this sales order number, this is a quantity guys, suppose. For this sales order number, this is a quantity. Okay, order number. See, for example, this is a quantity 9. Nothing but 34 guys. And then 9 suppose. Okay, so it will pick up that 9 from here. 9 from here. So this is one sequential table guys. So it represents a particular record. Yes or no? It represents a particular record here, nothing but 1000. It represents order type OR and it represents quantity as 34. So got the entire record or not? Yes or no? I hope you got the answer. You got the entire record or not, which you want to extract actually? Yes or no? So this will be done very faster guys with the help of the codes. Okay, with the help of the codes. Suppose guys there are no codes. If there are no codes, then again same thing. You have to search each and every record. Whether this is my record, again it have to go to this place. No, this is my not record. No, this is my not record. Go to next column, next column, next column. So it will take ultimately a lot of time, guys. Ultimately, it will take a lot of time. But this is very much more faster, guys. Yes or no? Is it clear? Understood the question? You got the answer or not? So what is the advantage of this indexing concept? Fine, guys. So the next. Is it Kunal? Is it clear or do you have any question? Is it clear? Hello, Kunal.
Yeah, clear. Yeah, thanks.
So it's very easy, guys, to identify with the help of code. System will identify automatically for this particular sales order number. What is the order type? For that order type, what is the quantity? For that quantity, what is the organization like this? Okay, very easy. And the next, my favorite point, guys, very important is parallel processing. That is columnar approach, multi-parallel processing. My favorite point. Previously, guys, suppose we have one building, guys. Suppose this is a building, and we are having 5 floors. Floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, floor 4, floor 5. Suppose I am having 4 floors, and there is a single person. There is a single person, and I'm asking this person to paint the entire building, guys. To paint the entire building, and each floor is taking 1 day. Each floor is taking 1 day, guys. Tell me, guys, how many days he will take? Obviously, guys, he will take 4 days. So one person 4 days. One person 4 days, which is time-consuming activity. So what I will do, I will ask the Mestri. As a owner of the building, I will ask the Mestri supervisor, hey, can't you apply 4 persons? Can't you employ 4 persons? Now tell me, guys, if I'm increasing the persons, what will happen? If I'm increasing the persons, what will happen? He will take care of this program, guys. He will take care of this section of the program. Second person will take care of this program section. Third one will take care of this program section. Fourth one will take care of this program section. And ultimately, guys, they will paint the building. All these 4 persons, they will paint the entire building and give the output, give the result to the owner of the building, guys. Yes or no? So tell me, guys, if you are increasing the number of persons, your work is reducing, your performance is improving or not?
Yes.
In the same way, guys, coming to the programming also. In programming, guys, we are having number of modules. You can call these modules also subroutines also. You can call these modules also includes also, anything you can call. In programming, guys, you take any programming, we have number of modules, okay, subsets, anything you can call. Suppose, guys, there is only one core, one person, there is only one core, guys. So for one core, guys, it will take a lot of time, guys. If one core is processing the entire program, it will take a lot of time. Sometimes you get a message, please wait, update process, in update, in queue, in update. Some messages you will get, guys, in queue, like this, okay? In some ERP systems, you'll be getting these messages. In update, in queue, please wait, the program is still in process. Why you are getting such messages? Why? Because there is only one core, guys. There is only one core which is processing your entire program. But if I'm having a multi-core processor, if I'm having a multi-core processor, guys, multi-core processor. So what multi-core processor will do? Each core will take care of a separate subset. So one core will take this subset. One core will take this subset. Another core will take this subset, guys. Another core will take this subset. So with this, what will happen, guys? Time will be reduced. So time will be reduced, guys. Okay. And moreover, guys, HANA is a hardware also. HANA is known as hardware also. Why? Because it is having completely 4 layers, guys. First layer, second layer, third layer. The entire HANA architecture is having total 4 layers. Total 4 layers. And each layer, guys, there are 8 processors. Okay. Each layer is having 8 processors. And total, guys, 12 cores. And tell me, guys, total how many now? Total how many now? Total how many? 96. So each layer is having total how many cores? Yeah. Is total how many cores here? 96. So total 4 layers is having how many cores? 384 or not? 384, guys. So entire HANA architecture is having total 384 cores. Each core will process separate subset of a program, separate module, guys, separate application module. So with this, guys, performance is very faster, guys. Okay, performance will be very good. Excellent performance will come, guys, out of the box. Okay, so that's why, guys, HANA is also known as hardware also, guys. HANA is hardware also. So this topic is called multi-core processing, guys. And as I told you, guys, we have tiny table. See, each column behaves like a tiny table. See, these are separate tiny table for customer. For product, it's a tiny table. For quantity, it's a tiny table. So if you are having multi-cores, each core will take care of a tiny core. So the core 1 will take care of this tiny table. Core 2 will take care of this tiny table. Core 3 will take care of this tiny table, guys. So with this, processing speed will be very fast or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
The processing speed will be highly faster, guys. Okay. And one more thing we need to understand, guys. If you want to purchase hardware, guys, suppose I'm working in SAP, you're working in SAP Labs, or you're working in TCS. So TCS have to purchase, guys, hardware, or any client, they want to purchase some hardware. So SAP authorized vendors are there, guys. So you need to purchase only from SAP authorized vendors. The HANA, whatever HANA hardware, HANA things, you need to purchase from specific vendors which are authorized by SAP, like IBM, HP, we have Fujitsu, Dell. So these are the companies, guys, which are authorized vendors provided by SAP, which are authorized by certified authorized vendors by SAP. Okay. So you need to purchase your hardware from these vendors itself. And we need to understand one more thing, guys, the difference between in which case row store is better and which case column store is better, guys. So column store versus row store. Very important entry point of it. It's an important question. People will ask you. So in which case you prefer row store and which case column store? See, guys. Row store is preferable, guys, if you are extracting all the columns. Clear? So I mean to say, whenever you are writing select star. When you are writing select star, here we are not searching a particular column. Yes or no? Whenever you are writing select star, you're not searching a particular column, guys. So in that case, row store is faster. Whenever you want to extract all the columns of the table. But whenever extracting specific columns, guys, now only I discussed this example also, like select field 1, I want field 2, field 3. In that case, guys, column store is better. And one more thing, guys, whenever you want to read in data, guys, okay, if there is a table which needs to be updated frequently, suppose a table needs to be updated frequently. In this case, guys, row store is better. Why row store is better? Let me tell you. Suppose, guys, you want to update a quantity, guys. See, suppose you want to update this value, say 100. We have some quantity, say 200. We have say 300 and blah blah guys. And these are my customers. And these are my customers. And these are my product numbers. These are my product numbers. Now my requirement is guys, my requirement is for this customer, for this product. I want to update quantity from 200 to 500. So my requirement is for this customer 1001, for this material number, for this product number, I want to update the quantity from 200 to 500. In this case, guys, don't prefer column store. Column store will be slow, guys. Why it is slow? Again, guys, it have to go to this tiny table. Again, system have to go to this tiny table. This tiny table. Again, it have to search this column. For this 1000, what is the quantity? Again, it have to go to this tiny table. Again, it have to go to this tiny table. Pick up the index. Pick up that number, guys. Again, for this, again, it have to go to this table, guys. Pick up the number. Again, like this, guys, it have to search each and every tiny table. Are you getting me? Are you getting me or not? What I want to say.
Yes, yes.
So suppose you want to update a quantity for a particular customer and a particular product ID. So guys, because it's a separate approach, so what system have to do? System have to scan each tiny table. It have to pick up. Suppose guys, for this code number is 1 guys, for 1000 identified. Again guys, for that it have to go to this table guys. So product ID is for that customer number, product ID is suppose 3. For these 3 guys, again it have to come back to this table. What is the quantity? What is the quantity guys? So index number is 4. Now the combination it have to bring guys. It have to bring this combination 1, 3, 4, something like that. Then it have to update. It's a time taking guys. It's a time taking activity. So it's better guys. Don't go for if you want to update data. Don't go for column store. Better is row store. Okay? Row store is better guys. Okay. And next one guys. If you want to read prefer. If you want to prefer guys frequently. If you want to read data, column store is better. So read data frequently. Suppose you want to read the data frequently guys from the table. Frequently you want to access some transactional data, etc. Column store is better guys. Okay. Column store is better. In this case guys, large unique values. Suppose you want to search large unique values. Unique values guys, unique values. Only remember large unique values. Row store is better. And in this case, large duplicate values. Suppose we have large number of duplicate records, non-unique values. Non-unique values means what? Duplicates or not? So no. So if there are non-unique values, nothing but duplicate values, go for guys columns. Now only I explain you also. So if there are multiple duplicate values, that Delhi. So Delhi like this. Okay. So in this case, guys, column store is best rather than go for row store approach. Fine guys, so that is the difference between row store and column store, which is better. Select star. When you want to extract all the data, row store is better. If you want to extract specific columns, column store is better. If you want to update guys, row store is better. Column store will take time guys. But which case is better? If you want to read the data frequently, frequent access, column store is better. If you want to process non-unique values, column store is better. If you want to process unique values, row store is better guys. Now a question arises, what about the insert guys? Okay, what is the insert activity? Tell me guys, column store is better or row store is better? Insert activity. If you want to perform insert activity, which is better?
Row store.
Column store guys. If you want to perform column insert activity also, oh sorry, yeah, correct. I'm sorry, really sorry, extremely sorry. Yeah, row store is better, correct. Same like update. Same like update, and I explained also. See, suppose you want to insert a record. Suppose you want to insert a record for this customer. This record I want to insert. For this product I want to insert. For this particular quantity I want to insert. Same thing will follow guys. It will search each and every column. Suppose there are 400 columns. Suppose there are 400 tiny tables. There are 400 tiny tables guys. Each table it have to search. And then it have to make a mapping here, make a mapping of all the index records. like this, and then it will insert. Then it will perform insert activity. So in that case, guys, row store is better. Okay. And one more thing, guys, you need to understand. See, guys, insert activity, update activity. All these activities will never takes place directly, guys. This is a very important point. See, in internal HANA architecture, insert operation, update operation, it will never take directly, guys. So first of all, guys, we have two types of memory, guys. One is delta memory and one is main memory, guys. So this is called main memory in SAP, in HANA system, and this is called your delta memory. Delta, we are seeing delta memory. Suppose, guys, you are creating a material. Okay? You are creating a metal master, say MM01. So whenever you create a material master, guys, directly this record will not hit main memory, guys. It will never go to main memory. First, it will go to delta memory, guys. Suppose you are creating a pen, guys, pen 001. Okay, this is a metal number. So first it will go to delta memory, guys. From delta memory, a save point will trigger, guys. For every 5 minutes. For every 5 minutes, we have a concept called save point. So this will trigger for every 5 minutes, guys. Okay, for every 300 seconds. For every 300 seconds and 5 minutes, this save point will trigger. And whenever this save point will trigger, whatever the data, guys, whatever the data which is in your delta memory, whatever the materials which are here in delta memory, it may be 1000, it may be 500, whatever it may be. Okay, so whenever the save point will trigger, all the data, guys, all the data from the delta memory will be transferred to your main memory, guys. All the data from delta memory will be transferred to main memory. I will show you also within the system also how it looks like. Delta memory for every table. HANA system, okay, HANA Studio. This will discuss, okay, later. How to work, how to log in. This will discuss. So this is your Eclipse tool, guys. HANA Studio is Eclipse tool. This we'll discuss in the later classes. How, and here you will find HANA user. Just give a password. Okay, and you take one table here, say Mara table or anything. They are all called catalogs, guys. Okay, we'll discuss what are catalogs. Here you'll search Mara table. SAP app happen, you will find all your tables, ERP tables, find table, Mara. Mara. Is Mara. This is Mara. Okay, double click enter. See, guys, right side you'll find runtime information. On the right side you see runtime information. So in runtime information, here you can see, guys, delta size. See, delta size, main size. So currently this is the size of the delta, guys. Okay, and this is the size of main size. So by default, guys, all the data will be stored in delta memory, and you want to transfer. Suppose I want to transfer this delta data, guys, to main size, main memory. So we need to go for one option will be there. Let me show you that option also. In this table, we'll see first. Tables. Okay, see Mara table. Right click, see, guys. Right click on Mara table and see, guys, perform delta merge. See. So we need to select this option, perform delta merge. And whenever you select this option, perform delta merge, automatically, guys, data will be transferred from delta memory to main memory. Delta memory to main memory. So this is how, guys, the tables works. Insert operation, guys. Insert operation is performed in your HANA system. And never say in interview, guys, people will confuse you. Always remember, guys, data will be never transferred to main memory. First, the data will be transferred to a delta memory. In delta memory, guys, for every 300 seconds or 5 minutes, a save point will trigger. Okay. And whenever the save point will trigger, the data from delta memory will be transferred to main memory. Okay? And we have many options, guys, like auto merge decision function, ADF. We have preload memory, preload flag, okay, unload priority. This will discuss, guys. Why? Because it will take some time to understand all these topics. Okay. So on tables, we need to understand these topics also. Auto merge decision function, preload flag, unload priority, etc., etc. Fine, guys. So that is from my end about today's class. This is a demo only. Any questions about today's class? You want to ask any questions? And coming to the course, guys, this course is completely weekends, guys. It's completely a weekend course, Saturday, 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours I will take. Saturday and Sunday, guys. Okay. Only weekend batch. So that you can do your own work also, and whenever you have practice time, you can practice also. 5 hours. And guys, it will take 2.5 months to complete the entire course. 2.5 months. And I will discuss the following topics. So first, guys, we'll start with HANA SQL. First, I will discuss the basic, guys, HANA architecture. All those things will take some time, because in interview point of view, guys, you need to understand internal things very well, guys. Okay. So after HANA SQL, we will discuss about modeling, guys. Okay. Modeling. After modeling, we'll discuss AMDP. Okay, ABAP managed database procedure. After AMDP, we'll start with CDS. Okay, and I will discuss some basic OData discussion. Okay, basics of OData, not complete. What are the basics of OData? And guys, every topic I will discuss in depth. Okay, so I will not discuss only upar, you know, upar. I will never discuss like that. Every topic will be in depth. Okay, so that in real time you can capable to work. In real time landscape, you can capable to work. Every topic will be in depth, guys. In depth topics. Okay. And here, guys, CDS is very useful, guys. If you want to connect with Fiori apps. So what CDS will do, guys? CDS will get the data from the HANA system. CDS will get the data from the HANA system, guys. And this CDS will be again connected, guys, with OData service. Again, the CDS will convert into OData service. And this OData service, guys, we need to expose. We need to expose to Fiori system. Are you getting me or not? Are you getting me or not? This is a flow, guys. From HANA system, the data will be given to CDS, and this CDS is consumed in OData, and this OData is consumed by Fiori system. Why? Because, guys, Fiori system cannot talk with CDS directly. Fiori system, guys, Fiori or UEFI system, it cannot talk with CDS directly. So that's why, guys, we require a middleware, a service called OData, Open Data, Open Data Protocol. And coming to modeling, guys, modeling is nothing but simply, guys, designing information models. We are saying information models. Information models. On top of these information models, guys, we'll design the reports. Okay. On top of the information models, so all these reports will be designed like Tableau reporting. Okay, BO reporting, Excel sheet. In Excel also we'll design reports, different types of reports. Okay, will be designed by using this concept called modeling, guys. Okay, and we need to consume models also, guys. Okay, we will consume in models in your ABAP layer also. So models are again consumed in ABAP layer also, guys. Okay, and AMDP, guys. AMDP is nothing but database procedures. Okay. AMDP is ABAP managed database procedures. ABAP managed database procedures. It's completely object-oriented program. It is completely object-oriented programming, guys, and on HANA SQL. Completely on HANA SQL only. SQL script, I can say. SQL script. Now, guys, suppose in SAP, guys, suppose we have 1,000 reports are there. All these 1,000 reports are taking a lot of time. In real time, all these 1,000 reports are taking a lot of time, guys. They are showing dumps, timeout exception. They are taking a lot of time. So these 1,000 reports, guys, will convert into AMDP. Okay, will convert into AMDP. Why? Because, guys, AMDP is very fast. AMDP is very fast, guys. And one more thing we need to understand. AMDP, CDS, etc. All these topics, AMDP, CDS, they support code push down technique, guys. They work basically on code push down. Code push down, guys. Code push down. And what do you mean by this code push down? Let me explain you. Let me explain you. So previously, what is happening? Listen carefully. This architecture I showed you now only. So previously, what is happening, guys? So this is your application layer, application server, and this is your database layer, or DB layer, or database server. So previously, guys, we need to make a request to the database server. Database server need to return the response. Database server is returning the response. So it is taking a lot of time, guys. I told you also, network traffic. It is increasing your network traffic also. It is taking a lot of time, guys. So what SAP done, guys? What SAP done? Instead of this different approaches, go again, just return back the data again on the top of this data, process this data here again in application layer. It's a time-taking process. It's a time-taking process. So what SAP did, guys? All this code, guys, all this processing logic, all that code directly you are pushing to HANA layer itself, guys. Directly all that code we are pushing, guys, directly into HANA layer also. HANA layer in a sense, previously, guys, this entire processing job is done in application layer. First, you need to make a request for data. It will take some time, guys. For extracting this data, for selecting this data, retrieving this data, system is taking time, taking a lot of time. Again, on top of that, processing, guys. Again, processing is taking time. Processing is also taking time. Then you are getting the output. Then you are getting the result. Instead of this, guys, instead of this traditional approach, okay, instead of this traditional approach, what we are doing, guys, directly you are pushing, guys, directly you are pushing to DB layer itself. So here only, guys, a system will extract the data, and here only system will process. Here only system will process itself. So this approach is called, guys, code push down approach. Push the code directly to DB layer. Hey database, please do it for me. Hey database, please do it that processing part also, do it for me. That's why, guys, here we have lot of demand for HANA SQL, guys. HANA SQL. So the person, guys, who knows this HANA SQL or SQL script, both are same, he will become king, guys. He will become king in HANA, guys. Okay. Why? Because you know, no need to write loops. You no need to write case condition, no need to write if conditions. All those processing conditions directly, guys, we are writing in select statement only, guys. In select statement only we are writing, no looping, no case, no if and if. Select I am writing C. Select blah blah. Here only you will write case and case, and you will close the select statement where condition, where employee number is equal to. Tell me, guys, is it possible in ABAP language? Can you write case and case within select? Can you write if and if within select? Can you do processing within select statement? Anybody among the audience?
No, sir.
No, we cannot do it. Impossible, guys. Impossible. So, but in HANA, guys, it is possible. HANA, it is possible. All your processing logic means all everything we are taking you to DB layer, guys. The entire burden we are keeping in database itself. Please do it for me. Okay. Please do it for me. So that's why, guys, HANA is a database. HANA is everything, guys. Okay. HANA is everything. Here only the processing is done. Okay. So that's why it is called processor also, guys. Indirectly, we are calling it as a processor also. Okay. Access engine, guys. This entire job will be done by access engine. Okay. One inbuilt engine is there called access engine. This will do all your processing of data. Okay. Select statement processing. Everything is done by this access engine. So these are the topics, guys, that we are going to discuss. HANA SQL, AMDP, CDS, modeling, guys. Okay. CDS, AMDP, modeling, and basics about data, guys. Okay. Why? Because we should know basics of data if you want to work with CDS. Yes, guys, tell me any question. That is about today's class. Any question from your end, you can ask.
Quick question. Do you need to have knowledge of ABAP?
No, actually, guys, ABAP knowledge is not required. It's not, because it's a completely SQL. You should know SQL statements very well. I'm talking about, right, everything is HANA SQL. If you understand SQL statement, that's enough, okay? Because AMDP is completely SQL scripting only. CDS is also SQL statements. Okay, modeling is just navigation, guys. Just you need to drag and drop. No SQL, nothing. Because here we need to just drag and drop. Model just we need to drag and drop, and it will create the code behind it. So here what we need to do, here we need to design a model, system will create a code behind it automatically. Okay, that is called model to code approach. Okay, so no need to learn, guys, ABAP. Okay, it's not required. Without ABAP also you can learn ABAP on HANA. Okay, any other question? But you should know, guys, SQL statements very well. Okay, SQL statements are very important. And this I will taught, guys, basics, everything. In depth I will teach HANA SQL. You will understand all the SQL statements in depth. Okay. If you understand these, guys, the remaining will become very easy for you. Yes, any other questions? And guys, we'll get the server, HANA access, HANA server for 3 months, guys. The access will be given for only 3 months, free of cost. You can use it, okay? And guys, daily you will get the recording sessions, okay? Every day, whatever the class is over, you'll get the recording sessions for your weekday classes. Okay, and these recording sessions you need to download. You need to download into your system. Yes, guys, any other questions about today's class, or you want to ask any questions? Yeah, Dinesh, Basha, Kunal, Mohammad, Raj, Shama, Shiva, Srihari. And let us make the class more interactive, guys. Okay. Please don't be silent, guys. Okay, I don't like silence. Silence is okay. Whenever you are going outside, so be silent, it's okay. But guys, in meetings, in classes, silence is very dangerous. So no.
One question. Will you cover anything regarding cloud?
Sorry?
Anything regarding cloud or no? Or just
No, this is not cloud. UEFI is on cloud. So that is a separate course actually. UEFI Ferry. OData. Their OData will be in cloud. This course will be in cloud. Because this is not related to cloud. Okay, it's not a cloud course. It's Eclipse.
Eclipse, okay. So we'll do the programming in WebID or just Eclipse?
Eclipse, yeah. HANA is Eclipse, not WebID.
Oh, okay.
Eclipse. Yeah, any other question? Fine, guys, we'll stop the class. Tomorrow class will be 2.5 hours, guys. Same time. Okay. Until then, bye-bye, guys. Great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.